Hey guys, my name is Landon Eccles, and this is my beautiful wife, Kat Eccles, and we are the co-founders of two brands now, one called Clean Juice and one called Free Coat Nails. And first of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are officially launching with our Free Coat brand, and we are super, super excited to really tell you all about it. But before we get there, we really just wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are, how we got started in franchising, and really how we got started with our first brand of Clean Juice that's doing really phenomenally well. Praise the Lord. So, Kat, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, so again, like Lyndon said, we're just super excited and grateful that you guys are all here today to learn a little bit more about Freecoat. It's been an amazing 5 years since we started Clean Juice, and I feel like we've learned obviously so much going through what we went through just with launching a brand. We launched Clean Juice kind of from the ground up. We did our first store. Landon literally halfway built it himself. He was, putting the wood on the walls, and so going from that to running a company that has 100 units plus growing all the time. We've hit so many hurdles and we've just kind of come such a long way. And we knew that we could replicate it with another brand that had the same kind of mission and heart behind non-toxic living and making something that's already out there better, not only for our guests and our employees. And we'll talk all about
Yeah.
that today, just why we believe so much in this industry, enough to really put ourselves out there and take a chance on doing this again.
Yeah, no, it's good. And when we got started with Clean Juice, we really just wanted to bring something that was truly healthy to our community. We wanted to open something where Kat was like, we're using 100% organic materials. We're not putting any junk into our stuff. We serve juices, smoothies, acai bowls. We now serve wraps and salads. So we're getting some more food items, but everything's certified organic. We don't add sugar into anything. So if you've never been to a Clean Juice, check it out. But I know that's not why you're on the webinar. But just to give you a little bit about our background and really our passion is for health and wellness. Our passion is, really to take our concepts to our communities and, make our communities better because we're there. Not just because we provide an awesome experience with awesome brands, but really because we give back and we've got a lot of really cool things that we do with that as well. So, when we found, the opportunity to acquire Freecoat, we did some vetting around the industry, and we really just kind of learned that, number one, nail salons are great because it's typically reoccurring revenue. So from the business standpoint, women and some men, they get their nails done quite often, and once ladies, once you get your nails done once, you got to get them done again and then again and again. And so it's a reoccurring sales, which is really nice, especially in the franchise model and for reoccurring revenue. But also, it's a very fragmented space. There's not really a brand out there that has done it right or has done it, to scale across the nation. And so from the business side of things, we were looking at it and we thought, hey, this is an opportunity where we can kind of put our spin of non-toxic and health and wellness into this category and hopefully create something that's really special.
Mm-hmm. Like Landon said, I think we try to always pick brands or businesses or companies, even long before Clean Juice, where we knew that it filled the need. So for someone like me, I grew up in New Jersey. So, for years I had the French tip nails. That was like, the thing when I was in high school. And then, as more of an adult mom, I would, run on a Saturday to get my nails done. And probably about a year or two ago, I would leave the nail salon and I would kind of have a little bit of a headache, or my nose would be a little stuffy, or I just felt tired. And I was like, there's no way this is good for me. And for someone like me, I live a pretty non-toxic lifestyle. I eat really clean and I do all these things. I have a sauna in my house and I have, my essential oils going all the time. And I'm like, I'm going every 2 weeks to this place that really doesn't make me feel good after I leave, and it's pretty toxic. So of course I did some research and I was like, okay, great, now I'm not getting my nails done anymore. So when we were able to find this brand that we purchased that was previously under a different name, it was so awesome because I was like, this is somewhere I would go. So, and I always said this when we started out with Clean Juice, the same thing. I was like, there has to be more people like me, right? When we started Clean Juice, there was really nowhere to go and get an organic smoothie. And I was thinking, we didn't live in New York City, we didn't live in LA. So there was nowhere for me to take my kids to get something healthy. I'm like, there has to be more people like me. So I know there's more people like me out there that aren't getting their nails done or would choose a non-toxic option. Like, our Stacy, who probably all of you have talked to or heard about, she would get her nails done no matter what. Like, it would be her last $20 in her bank account and she'd be getting it done. But I know she'd always choose a non-toxic option if it was there. So again, we just kind of, this made sense to us. It wasn't, we weren't creating anything new. Everybody knows what nail salons are. Everyone gets their nails done, but we really believe that we're offering something better.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when we came across the brand that we acquired, we rebranded it to Free Coat Nails, obviously. And there was some thought behind that. How did we come up with the name Free Coat? Well, we basically want you to understand that when you come into one of our salons and you get your nails done, your coats, right, they're free of all the, toxic chemicals that are out there that are typically used with other paints at other salons. So not only are we free of toxic chemicals that go on the nails, we're free of jets in our pedicure bowls. Why? Because jets can really cause a lot of bacteria in those bowls, and it's really hard to clean out. So our bowls have no jets. Our air is free of toxic chemicals. How? We use medical grade filtration in our salon. So traditionally, when you walk into a nail salon, the first thing you kind of are overwhelmed with is this big kind of sense of nasty smell. I'm sure any of you that have walked into a traditional nail salon, that's kind of the experience off the bat. But when you walk into a Free Coat, it smells great. It actually smells really, really good. It doesn't smell like chemicals at all. Partly because of the materials that we use to paint the nails and do the different surfaces, but also because of the medical grade filtrations that are in each one of our salons. What else do we do that's free? Well, we've got the free sugar scrub. So every single service comes with a free organic sugar scrub at the end, which is just a really nice feeling. Be able to wash your hands and kind of scrub your hands with that organic sugar. So those are some of the reasons why we named the brand Free Coat.
Mm-hmm. We just love it. We feel like it's really modern and fresh, and that's how our interiors are decorated too. And I think that was another thing for me. Like, there's the whole non-toxic aspect, but there's also kind of like the aesthetic, feel good, like soul care. You want to go into a pretty salon and it's really clean, and there's a pretty place you can take an Instagram picture, or there's a neon light, and it just feels really like cool and trendy and relaxing, versus somewhere that some of those salons just aren't kept that nice. And I would realize that when I was going in, and I really wanted to have a more tranquil, just nice experience. So I would say that's something that really sets us apart too, is we really want to make sure that our brand stays modern and up to date, and cool for the Instagram influencers, because that's a new way of marketing too. We want to really create something business wise where I call them Instagram girls. Our Instagram girls can come in and just feel like it's really cool and take pictures and take videos and send their friends, and we really try to create that environment in our salons.
Yep, that's really well said. So our salons are really light and airy and beautifully designed, and very, I wouldn't use the word modern, but of now times, trendy. Yeah, exactly. So they look really nice. And I mean, here we got a picture right here, so you can kind of see just really how beautiful they are. They're very, very nice. We've got one location open in Nashville, specifically in Franklin, Tennessee, and then we've got one in Charleston, specifically Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. So we've got those two locations. We're opening up some here in Charlotte that are going to be corporately owned, and of course, we're franchising. So we now have our FDD done, which is our franchise disclosure document. So that's kind of the first step of kind of getting started, is a review of the franchise disclosure document. So for those of you who are familiar with franchising or not familiar with franchising, we're going to talk about that for a second. Franchising is really great because you get to take a proven and established business, but run your own business through the franchise. So you get to take a brand where people are understanding the brand, understanding the kind of marketing on a national scale, but you get to distill that down to the local level. So you get to own your own business, but participate in a brand that's growing, that has really done it right. And here at the home office, we have several teams. We have a team in finance, a team in development, a team in marketing, and a team in operations to really help our franchisees through the process of first and foremost, signing the franchise agreement, and then finding real estate, negotiating the lease, getting the architecture plans done, getting the construction done, opening the store, and then marketing and operations support once the store is open. And of course, all the things that we do are like come up with, on the Clean Juice side, come up with new menu ideas. On the Free Coat side, come up with new offerings in our salons. So, it's really kind of the power of franchisor and franchisee really working together to grow a brand. And so franchising is a really beautiful business that we've really fallen in love with over the last 5 years, and we're really excited to offer this Free Coat Nails as a franchise.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people might be wondering, do I have to have like a cosmetology background or a nail tech background, or what if I know nothing about that whole world? And I just want to let you guys know that's okay. And the previous owners, as well as the previous franchise owners, and then of course us, we don't have any background in the beauty industry except for what we know as consumers. So that's a really cool thing about this is the owner can come in and really be the owner and the business operator, and they're not the ones back there doing nails. They can. One of our first franchisees actually is going to get her nail tech license just so she can, be able to pop in and do a coat if she needs to. But it's something that you can totally run without that, and then you really get to focus on the fun stuff as the owner, which is serving your guest drinks or building the business or marketing or all these other things that make the business run.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, we're going to be opening a location here in Charlotte that we're going to corporately own. And we're really excited about that because it's really going to be our flagship store here in Charlotte, one we can train out of and really kind of, plant a flag here in this community. I just got a little note from Stacy, who's going to be moderating for us in a second, to ask questions. So I believe that there's a question feature on there. If you guys have any questions, send them in, and she will, as we're talking, of course, and she'll start to, compile a list, and she'll read them to us, and we'll be able to answer those in a second. But yeah, like Kat said, we're really excited about this. We really feel like this brand is a good-looking, winning brand. It aligns with our vision of creating health and wellness products and really just making people's lives better, not just through the experience that we're going to provide them in the salon, but just loving them along the way and making sure that they know how much we care about them as guests. So that's part of us and who we are and what we do. And looking forward to answering your questions. And again, just, so thankful that you guys took a few minutes of your day to hang out with us and learn a little bit about Freecoat Nails.
We actually already have several questions that have come in. Let's see, the first one is, how long does it take to open a location and how large should a salon be?
Great questions.
Maybe we should repeat it. I think they can hear you.
So, they can hear me.
Okay.
Yep. So the question was, how long does it take to open a salon and how big should they be? So what's awesome about Freecoat Nails is that typically they're about the same size of the store as Clean Juice. So we're already really familiar with building out kind of the size, which is typically going to be anywhere from 1,200 to really 1,800 square feet. For Freecoat, they could be a little bit bigger than a Clean Juice. I'd say Freecoat's average size is going to be about 1,600 and Clean Juice is going to be about 1,300. So relatively, same size, small, we'll call it small box retail. In terms of how long does it take to get open? Well, really, it's kind of how fast we're moving through the process. So on the Clean Juice side of things, from awarding the franchise and signing the franchise document to getting the door open, I think the fastest we've ever done that is 4 to 5 months. On average, it takes about 9 to 12 months. And again, that's really just how quickly we all move through the process. And when I say we all, I don't just mean us and you guys. I mean the landlords and the brokers, and how long does it take to find the real estate, negotiate it, and does the contractor stick to their timeline, which are all things that we're going to help you with throughout the process. But typically, you can average about 9 months to get open.
And I would say probably something we didn't even really think about at the beginning was real estate is probably the biggest, concern or hurdle to overcome in this brand, just because, when you think about your town, most centers already have a nail salon, albeit, a more traditional salon. So it's not really competition for us, but it is competition in the sense that they, of course, don't want to bring in a new nail salon and put it right next to the old one. So if you know of a space that you're targeting or a new center that's coming that, you know that there's no nail salon there, you really, need to keep that in mind and act quickly, because it is something that landlords usually have or sign pretty immediately.
Absolutely. And really on the real estate side, we're going to take a very proactive approach. We have a director of real estate who literally, their job is to make sure that we find great locations, and we'll be proactively reaching out to landlords in your community once you're ready to get going, asking them, not just looking for availability online, but proactively asking the landlord, hey, how's your salon doing? Or are you guys looking for a new concept and things like that?
Great. Here's another question. Let's see, will there be any targeted marketing towards men's services? Also, I heard there will be a dry sauna. Can you expand on the business opportunity with sauna service?
Yeah, so Landon actually got his first pedicure when we were scouting this business. And I was actually pretty shocked about how many men were in there, or of course, we were asking on the text, do you do men often? And they said men are their most loyal customers. So they're the ones that, once they're in there, they're there every 2 weeks. Just, once you get that kind of nice manicured feel, I think a lot of men really enjoy that. So we have a service on the menu offering that's called the Men Coat or the Man Coat. So that's totally targeted to men, and I think we're going to do really great with them. The sauna is something we're still exploring. We don't want to become a sauna studio, but we did think it was a great option. Just as we're offering all sorts of beauty services, we're going to have waxing, and we thought having one sauna would be a great way to kind of, first of all, set us apart from the competition. We like to do that with, Clean Juice, of course. We became all organic, and we really wanted to make sure we stayed healthy and not sweet treat. And same with the nail salon. We really wanted people to start to identify us as a health and wellness brand. So we thought if we had this kind of wellness offering in a sauna, it would be great for them to be like, subconsciously really realize, oh, that's the healthier option, and it's this whole wellness studio. So it's also a great way to make some passive income or monthly income. And or if someone comes in and they're waiting for an appointment and they want to hop in the sauna for 30 minutes, they can do that. And I don't know that we have pricing on what we're going to charge just yet, but it'll be a really great way to make some extra money. Something that's really different for us with Clean Juice, sometimes we always joke we would covet these like service-based brands, because we have with Clean Juice, there's food cost, right? Like that's the whole name and game of Clean Juice. If there's any Clean Juice franchises on here, you guys know it's all about keeping those food costs low and keeping waste low. With Free Coat, it's completely different. There's pretty much no cost of goods sold because the nail polish is, pretty irrelevant, but our labor costs are so high. So we were really thinking with our team, how can we keep all of our costs still so low, but offer something that's going to, turn up more revenue. And one of the girls came up with the sauna, which we just thought was an awesome idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And for any guys on here who have never had a pedicure done, I highly recommend it. Obviously didn't get any paint. I think, as guys, like the first thing I think about when I hear manicure, pedicure, I think, painted, fingernails and painted toenails, but it's really actually a totally different experience than what I thought. It's very relaxing. You get to put your feet in this really kind of nice warm, water. Then they put this cool stuff in there, and I mean, it's super awesome. So, guys, if you've never had a pedicure, come to Free Coat and get one. They're awesome.
Here's another great question. How does marketing work? Would franchisees be getting help from corporate with materials?
Yeah, so definitely. So we're going to have a whole marketing team that's, we already have started that process of bringing on great folks to help out with marketing. So for us, marketing is two-pronged. It's, business to business, right? We're marketing, of course, the opportunity to open and award Free Coat Nails, but then the B2C part of it as well. So a lot of that's done through, of course, social media and some other channels. But in terms of, buying a franchise, absolutely. One of the main reasons why you buy a franchise is to leverage, the ability to tap into a national brand, which we're going to grow Free Coat into a national brand, also, getting really hyper local. And so we're going to have, definitely different procedures and different things to help out with that. And absolutely, we'll have a print vendor and, be able to really negotiate great contracts with those guys, especially as we scale the brand.
I think marketing, when it comes to franchising, is probably the most confusing thing. Most people want to say, well, you do my marketing. I just want to be clear, we won't do the marketing, but we will help you every step of the way. We'll point you in the right direction. Everything that you hang in the store, from your signs to your menus to, the little pedicure bowls that are going to be logoed with Free Coat, like every single thing will be from us. You'll have to order through us, and, so all of our stores are the same and the brand stays consistent. And we will work really hard with you guys to develop plans, like Lynn said, both nationally and locally. And the cool thing about this is a lot of influencer marketing is great, offering services to girls in your area that might have a big following that they can repost is a great way to get the name out there. So we will help you develop a great marketing plan for your location as well as what we use nationally.
Yeah, we'll have an ever-evolving kind of playbook in terms of how to do your marketing. Like Kat said, we're going to give you all the tools, right? You guys got to swing the hammer, but you will have access to everything to ensure success.
Here is another great question from Lizzie. She said, do you have any concerns regarding the pending recession and how this will affect growth? Based on historical numbers, do you know how this sector of the beauty industry fared through 2008 and afterwards?
Yeah, so, it's a great question. What I love about this industry is that I believe that women who get their nails done will continue to get their nails done. I think that, in any recession, there's a dip in most categories. In our last recession, which is, one of the greatest recessions we've ever seen in the U.S., it was about 10%. So, is that a lot? Yes, but there's still 90% of the business that's out there. Our salons, or the few that we have open, have done very, very well through COVID. They've done well, kind of in this landscape of the recession and of more challenging times that we face. But what I really like about this business is that folks typically don't get their nails done one time. It's reoccurring, and somebody who is used to that will most likely continue. So our salons could absolutely get through that kind of decrease if that happens. And we're really setting up the pricing and setting up really the whole investment to ensure that each salon is successful with if there was ever a decrease.
And I think, like I mentioned earlier, the biggest variable there would be labor costs.
Yep.
And because our salons are pretty much all appointment based, we will take walk-ins if we can, but we really recommend that you get an appointment. You're able to really kind of monitor that and cut people if you need to, or if you see, a really downturn, you might, let a few people go and just keep less employees on staff. So you're really only managing that one variable that really has a big effect on your profitability.
That's good.
Here's another one. It says, I like the health and wellness aspect. Is there an option to own both? I guess that means Clean Juice and Freeco.
So absolutely, definitely. I think that we would not do kind of a Freeco with a Clean Juice inside the same exact space, but definitely if there's a center that you really like and they have two roughly 1,500 square foot sites available and you wanted to do both, we could absolutely have those conversations if that was something you're interested in.
Yeah, a lot of our first owners here at Freeco are going to be seasoned Clean Juice owners.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, our Clean Juice owners, said another way, our Clean Juice owners, are definitely interested in the Freeco brand as well.
Here's a comment from Matt. He said, nails still grow in a recession, smiley face. This is such an amazing time to launch a nail brand.
Well, and actually to that point, this, I don't want to sound mean, this is just kind of business, but I think a lot of traditional nail salons might be going out, and that's a great opportunity for you guys as you come in to be able to take these locations that you wouldn't otherwise normally be able to get, or something that's already a nail salon, you can, convert to a Freeco, just kind of like a newer, updated one. So I think there will be some opportunity here with some of this kind of, die off from COVID. That will be a great opportunity for the Freeco brand as it comes in.
Yeah, we're already starting to see that in some of our real estate search. Like Kat said, some of the more, traditional salons that maybe were not performing that well before, we're going to be able to flip those into a Freeco and really just make them an incredible experience for the guest. And, Matt, I totally agree. Nails definitely grow through a recession, and, we're just going to keep offering that experience so folks keep coming back in.
Here's an exciting one. Personally excited about this one. It says, are there any initial offers for the first franchisees?
So yes, for the first, I believe it's 5 units that we award, we are actually going to discount the franchise fee by half. So we're going to cut that in half. We're only ever going to do it for the first 5, and really it's just an introductory offer. So it's first come, first served. And so, that'll be pretty significant savings of, well, our franchise fee is $45,000. So, you'll save $22,500, which is significant.
Another good question. I know we talked about appointments, but it says, will you be appointment only, and how about a membership option?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we won't be appointment only, but we'll be highly appointment recommended. And actually, it's funny, for someone like me, I had to kind of switch my brain there because I was always just used to going into a traditional place where I could pop in. And honestly, towards the end, it was getting to the point where they'd make me wait an hour and I wouldn't really wait anyway. So for me, I'm like, gosh, I'm always on the go. I don't know what my days look like. How's that going to go? But we've really been working with our other one, and it's pretty easy. You just hop on the night before and you just see what appointments they have. Or, some people schedule out every 2 weeks. They know they go Monday at 3 o'clock with the same girl. And that's another benefit with the employees is you can pick the tech that you like. So, no matter what, Sandy does my nails great. I only like when Sandy does my nails, and I'm going to go see her and I'm going to only work with her. So there's a lot of benefits to it. And I really think it feels a little more upscale and just a little, bougier, if you will. You're making this appointment and to go into your kind of like your hair salon, but now it's your nail salon.
That's right.
So like I said, if, we will take walk-ins, but it will mostly be appointment based. And what was the second part of that question?
Will there be membership
Oh,
options?
yeah. The membership is awesome. Yes, there will 100% be memberships. And actually, we think this is going to be a huge deal for our franchisees, just that ongoing revenue of, there's going to be a couple different tiers, maybe you get 2 pedicures, 2 manicures, both, maybe the sauna is thrown in there too. So there's going to be a lot of options for that monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And, we don't want the customers like me that forget to add their subscription and, 2 years later, they're like, oh, I should, go back.
Probably go get my nails done.
Here's a good question. It says, what is the cost for a mani-pedi?
You don't know?
Is it 45?
Yeah.
Yeah, for Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and we're gonna, we're really kind of looking at what we're charging. We are kind of toying with the idea of either having a one price across the country or toying with kind of different tiers, looking at, what are the costs associated in each market. So that's why we're both kind of like, because we're not, it's not 100% buttoned up yet. Of course, we have the 2 stores that are offering pricing, but, the way that we're thinking is more on a national scale. How do we scale it? How do we make sure it makes sense for all the salons? And, with trying to be a franchise and trying to ensure that the guests can kind of expect similar pricing at each one of our stores, while also making sure that our franchisees in each market where, labor might be a little bit higher or, rent might be a little bit higher. How do we, navigate that? So it's something we're definitely working through, but, at Clean Juice, we have 100 open locations. We have a couple different tiers of pricing and we've been able to figure it out. So.
And the model really is, you try to make it $1 a minute. So, you generally figure that a gel manicure takes about 45 minutes. So we generally try to charge them $45. So anything under that $1 a minute, starts to not totally make sense for you as the owner.
Here's a good one. How do you envision scaling 2 brands?
Great question. I'll take that one. So, at Clean Juice, we have about 30 folks at the home office who are working in the departments that I mentioned earlier. So operations, marketing, development, and finance. So some of those folks are actually going to help out on the Freecoat side of things, specifically in our finance department and in our development department. So Stacy, who you're hearing on the other side of the camera, she's our VP of franchise development. She oversees really the franchise development for both brands. When it comes to franchise development and being able to explain the story of both brands is relatively easy. It's not super challenging to go back and forth. Once you understand how to communicate, what we offer, it's very easy to do and work kind of the process of what we do. Same thing in finance. If you can do the bookkeeping for a Clean Juice, you can certainly do the bookkeeping for a Freecoat. The teams that we're going to keep very separate are going to be first in operations and of course in marketing. We just feel like the brands, even though there's a lot of similarities, there's still a lot of differences, and we want to make sure that the folks who have supported our Clean Juice franchisees are going to continue to support our Clean Juice franchisees on the operations and the marketing side. And then we're hiring and have hired incredible folks on the Freecoat side of things on the operations and the marketing side. So there will be some overlap, but then there are a lot that'll be, definitely line drawn in the sand, and the folks will stay in their own sandbox.
Yeah.
Another question is, what is the process like to get started?
Yeah, so to get started, I'm guessing that you're referring to how do you get started with franchising with us. Well, the wonderful woman on the, again, other side of the camera is Stacy McDonald. She's our VP of Franchise Development. You can email her directly, stacy@freecoatnails.com. She'll send you an email, a little bit about us, send you our kind of, our full franchise overview report. So, more of this, you get to learn more about our brand, more about kind of what the investment looks like, what the team looks like, and really kind of how you get started from there. Once you feel good with kind of what you see, you would submit a request for consideration, which is basically like an application to apply for the franchise opportunity. Once our team kind of reviews it internally and you're approved, we'll send you out our franchise disclosure document, which is a big document, and we got to give you some time to read it. So we, basically you'll sign a receipt page saying that you got that document. Have a couple weeks to review, and of course, if you want to call and ask questions to our team, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. Once you feel good with that and you're ready to schedule a discovery day, that's when you come out to our home office You get to meet the whole team. You get to go to some of our stores and really check out, what it's like to really become a Free Coat Nails franchisee.
You got to clarify how to spell my name. He said, can you spell her name?
Yes.
Staci.
No E. Staci at freecoatnails.com.
Here, I think is the last question is, what does the structure look like to pay the nail techs?
That's a really good question. So when we purchased the business, it was a little bit chaotic. There was like 4 different options that the techs could choose from, and some of it was commission, some of it was hourly, and it just was really confusing. So right now they are paid an hourly fee, an hourly wage, and then they're paid a commission, which is it 50% now?
15%.
15%. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 15%.
Yes.
Yeah. 15% commission. So we really love that too, because it, obviously incentivizes them to do a great job and keep their guests coming back. And then of course they're paid a tip on top of that.
Right.
So they're paid an hourly wage and then the 15% commission.
Yeah. So our goal is to obviously, and our goal and their goal as the nail techs is to get, as busy as possible, right? If they're going to be there for 8 hours, of course they, don't mind earning the hourly wage, which is fine, but they're really going to make their money when they're actually providing the services, and then of course, getting the tips. So inherently, they're going to offer a great experience because they know that, they're comped on that. So that's really cool. I love businesses where, owner and employee are really aligned in how, how they're compensated. It just makes a lot of sense. And, on the Clean Juice side of things, sometimes at times it can be challenging to kind of teach a 16-year-old why it really makes sense to give a great guest experience. With nail technicians, it's their career. They have chosen to become nail technicians. They've gone to school to become nail technicians. And, they're not just looking kind of for that part-time job that they're going to have for 3 months and then they're off. Normally they find a salon that they love and they stay there. So, if you find great folks, wrap your arms around them, we've got the pay structure that really makes sense for both sides. And what I love is that they earn, definitely a livable wage doing this. And, we just allow them the opportunity to do it in an environment that's healthier than the more traditional salons.
Mm-hmm. We do have one more question that just came in. It says, would you mind talking about the technology you use and have available? Example, app for appointments, the scheduling software, etc.
Yeah. Yep, we are actually vetting new scheduling software right now, but right now we have a good one that works great. That they can go on, like I said, you can do a reoccurring appointment or, just log on to set up your next appointment. I think we're going to be transferring over to a new one, which is, even a little more high tech and really modern and sleek. So I don't want to announce that just because we haven't finalized it yet. But by the time y'all would be on, it would be ready to go. And as well as developing a personal app that we have that people could download. And we're even trying to this is like a huge undertaking, but we're thinking about photographing every single color so that, you're not sitting there like fluffing through the colors when you go in. You could book your appointment, pick your color, and be completely ready to go for you when you get there. So just little things like that that make our experience different than others.
If you go to the Clean Juice website, even that Free Coat website that we just launched, you'll be able to see kind of how in tune we are with, providing the right information through the right technology. So if you download our Clean Juice app, that was done by an incredible provider on that side of the business. It just, technology is a big part of what we do, and we understand that, but it also has to make sense for the end user, for the guest. And so we're always looking at ways to really upgrade, not only how our guests use it, but how our employees use it as well. So we're definitely looking to partner with technology providers that are awesome and that really want to scale with our business. And so just know as franchisees, that's something as a franchisor we're always looking into. But of course, we have a responsibility to y'all to make sure we're bringing in not just the best technology, but at the best prices too, because we've got to think about, how y'all are going to make money. So that's, that's really important to us. Cool. Well, again, guys, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for this. We're so excited for this brand. We're so excited that you chose to spend, half an hour with us on a Tuesday afternoon to hang out. And, we just feel blessed. We feel blessed to, be able to run the Clean Juice brand and, of course, the Free Coat brand. And actually next week, we've got another webinar that we're going to be doing where you get to meet our director of operations. Her name is Jen Yandino. I'm sure she's listening on the other side. She's incredible. She's been in this space for a long time and really understands, the difference between a traditional salon and a non-toxic salon. I think I did a subpar job of kind of explaining it. She's going to do an incredible job of really explaining the differences of, how we're really differentiated, not just on the guest side, but the employee side as well, because that's really, really important. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to come next week. And again, if you have any more questions, please email Stacy@freecoatnails.com. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.